You can see the speckled thing under the red one. It's a prototype that's been crushed. That was it, people. She $2.50. Oh shit, you know, it must be down to about $6 a fucking ton. Take that from before the GFC, it was $700 a ton for light pressings. I got $2.50. And, well, let's put it like this, it definitely isn't any more than $10 a ton. I mean, I didn't really have a load on this time like I used to have, but there's no way it's more than $10 a ton. They're just sort of like a garbage collection service now, except you don't pay. That's about it. What you saw there, if you've seen the speckled one, that was basically the same sort of prototype that I nearly had go to the side of me a while back. And would you believe it, about a week and a half ago, as I was pulling in my driveway, same prototype, roaring up, flaming near my driveway flat out, barely saw me that time as well. That was about a week or two ago. So, yeah, you know, being there in auto industry, you end up, if you keep your eyes open, you see prototypes, and if you keep your eyes open, really open, you actually see them in scrap metal going to the crusher. And that was one upside down in amongst all the others right there, which I've never actually seen one in that joint. I thought they used another scrap metal joint, but they might have changed who they go with or something, I don't know. Alrighty, I think it might be time for a transmission service, I don't know. She's whining a little bit, it could be getting low, I better check the dipstick. I think this might have had a dipstick in the one before it doesn't or something. You got a strange thing in the model before it where you can't actually top the oil up. There's too many people over topping it up and blowing all the seals out. Anyway, I've got this up here. Now, let's have a look at things here. Fence here, tree there. Pretty spectacular to do a 3-point turn there, reverse this right up into there. Or did I? I was going to, and then I realised there's a smarter way. All the cars usually park boom, boom, boom. I thought, fuck that. I drove that side of the tree, spun it around, come here, realigned and jammed it up. And some people are often worried about stealing trailers and shit. Well, fucking steal that. Have fun trying to unhitch that and get it all off and onto your vehicle. Probably ain't going to happen, I'd say. There has been almost no rain out where I was, and yet we've got puddles here. There is sand washed off of grassed areas onto the road, out of gardens all over there. There's a significant amount of sand on the road. The water damage in the supermarket, it's sort of all looking a bit like they got a damn near flash flood, and we got bloody nothing. With a bit of luck, I'll have a bit of something coming through today at my joint, but I sort of doubt it. Whereas here, you know, shops have got witches' hats around them because of the water flooding the whole place out as it all ran into the floor, and ooh, she's a clean-up day for many people by the looks. But anyway, I am off to get a new laptop. Unbox a Lenovo IdeaPad 100S. Yeah, plasticized stickers. Sort of thing you want to do with 2 hands. Ooh. Maybe we went upside down. OneDrive. Ooh. Finish your setup. Holy smoke. That would be about a quarter the size of my old one. Something at 24 watt hours. 0.1 watt hour. Might be 24 watts. Joking. Output 5 volts, 4 amps. It's like about 4 USB plugs. That's about it. No pins whatsoever. And an Australian adapter to fit slips in there. I've had that before with electronics. Pull it out to a bizarre fitting, and then you get your actual country-based fitting in. How the hell did I know the sky blue? She didn't even ask me what colour I wanted. You know what? I've never actually seen a laptop that colour. I've seen pink ones, blue ones. But she didn't give me a pink one. Anyway. Just hang on a second. There you go, a ripper. Webcam. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, probably Bluetooth version 4. She's just one of those Intel Atom-based things. Long battery life, I don't know what that means. Oh, 180 inch, it means I can go completely that level with the keyboard, flatten the entire thing altogether. Anyway, appears as though I'm going to have to install some virus scanners and piss fart around, and hopefully the Leo video converter can be found online. And we should be right to go. Thanks guys for getting a likely spam button. Flagging these things for spam. I had one deleted about Influx. I have 51 likely spam, and I swear it's probably about 45 of those are about Influx. It's an instructional website where you got to pay money to learn dumb shit. Alrighty. Just getting ready to go to bed here. Taking my boots off. Quite interesting, I found out about the little flash flood, and it was indeed a flash flood of some type, especially in Australian terms. They had 32 mil, which is 1.25 inches in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And over the space of the entire hour, they got 70 mil, which is basically 2 4/5 of an inch. Pretty flaming astronomical sort of rain levels that sort of only occurs around here on a very odd occasion. So that was because of all the mess that I was seeing and all the local government workers out trying to shovel dirt off the road and that have washed out of gardens and shoveling blooming mulch, you know, all these mulch on these garden beds that just sort of just ends up going all over the footpath and all that sort of business. Anyway, give them something to do. They've got a train line and they've got these two little sort of roads, one in one area, another one, not even a quarter mile away, for the same train line that dip under, and they're completely blocked off with water, you know, and they're right up to people's, almost the door window sort of thing in people's vehicles, and yeah, turned into a bit of a shitstorm. But anyway, I got some tubs, 8 of these tubs that are 50-litre tubs. I know one person will be happy that I'll be trying to clean the place up a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do some butchering tomorrow, and that'll be a whole nother video section. Are you ready to meet your fate? Oh, blind eye there. He's going because he's blind. Because he's going blind. I got a bit of blood on me, as you can see. No showing these videos on YouTube, so I didn't sort of film anything, which is unfortunate. If I butcher a sheep myself one day, which is quite a possibility at the rate things are going, I might then show you stuff a bit closer, but I think the old man's a bit worried about, you know, animal activists and all this sort of stuff. They can get a bit excited in this country, those types, but yeah. But I think I'll get to show you cutting the meat up and whatnot, and when he's not around, I'll just do, well, you'll see the carcasses hanging up when I show the meat being cut up anyway, but I don't think he's so worried about that. I think he's just worried about the blood and the guts, and Black Kitty seems to think it all smells very good. I was going to bring a couple of kidneys back for you, buddy. See what you thought of them. I've even sliced out a couple of spleens. Don't know if the cats will eat them. Can't see that that'd be much of a problem anyway. Like, you know, it's should be all right for said cat. Now, right, cat. So yeah, I usually Dad gets the livers. They cook them up. He's got a real specific way of cooking them up. It's almost like as though you thaw them out. He has them frozen. He thaws them out. He slices them up a certain size, and then there's a real art to it, a hell of an art to it actually. He sort of throws in a bit of white flour or whatever and sort of mixes that so that any, you know, the juices / blood that comes out when he cooks the liver gets mixed with this flour and sort of starts to go sort of pretty thick and gluggy, and then it's sort of, I don't know, it's almost like a bloomin', ends up coming out like a porridgey mix, this liver, like the flour that he's put in there with the liver almost goes porridgey, and it starts to brown a little bit, and then, yeah, he scoops it all out, and it is bloody fantastic. So long as you put salt on it, it tastes flippin' beautiful. But they eat that, and I used to eat it when I was living there too. I can't cook it as good as he can, at all. But I do take the hearts and eat the hearts, so I've also got those. And for the kitties, I'm getting the kidneys, spleens, and the lungs. I figure they eat the lungs in Scotland in haggis. Stuff it, I'll get the lungs, and I've actually realised I'm quite good at slicing the lungs away from everything else, and yeah, we'll see what the kitties think about all that. But anyways, back home for a bit of lunch. Sort of funny, started warming up and you've got all these clouds overhead. So, yeah, I think we'll see. It might rain tonight. Those of you who don't know, the day before yesterday it was, the city which I usually go into to use the free Wi-Fi and all that, they had 32 mil, which is, so work out again, inch and a quarter I think it was. Yeah, touch over an inch and a quarter in 20 minutes, and in the space of an hour they got 70 mil, which is basically inch and 3/4. It's actually an inch and 4/5. In 1 hour. Other places had hailstones in the capital, on the other side of the capital, they had hailstones 2 inches in diameter, and they got a hell of a blast of rain, and we got bloody nothing. Be lucky to, it wouldn't have been 1/16 of an inch is what we would have got. Would have been pathetic. So, shit. I heard something go bang. Kittens were playing. Luckily there's no plant in that, but I try and keep my potting mix together as opposed to all over the bloody front lawn. Anyway, we're seeing all these dark clouds. It doesn't really mean anything is what I'm trying to get at. So, but it was getting pretty hot and the flies started coming. I thought, oh shit, this is all you need when you're butchering, is flies hanging around. But now it's starting to cool off, so bit of luck, it'll stay cool until we get it all sliced up in the freezer. This is quiet as quiet. Any noise you can hear is either eggs frying or the ceiling ventilation fan. Let's have a look. This is the bank I got me mortgage with. Shit, you can't really see it. Investor nervousness is on the cusp of turning to panic in global markets at the moment, with the New Year hangover continuing for the third week. So a lot of the stuff that I tell you economically isn't just a lot of conspiracy theory claptrap. You know, this is on a major bank's website. You're making some funny noises there. There's 2 kittens trying to eat one side of a lung. Of course, you've got the left side and the right side. And the 2 kittens, it's so big, the 2 kittens are trying to both eat it. And then they're growling at each other because each wants to be eating it as their own. Each wants the whole lot. Bloody black kitty pisses me off. I went and stick the lino underneath the bowl. Now, they're disposable plastic bowls, and if any maggots get in, I usually chuck the bloomin' meat down the paddock and chuck the bowl in the bin, sort of thing, and put another one down. Well, she's been getting in this habit of, I'll plonk something in the bowl, because we butchered, I've got a whole heap of, we slaughtered anyway, we've got to slice up it all into chops and roasts and everything today. You're making some funny noises, buddy. Come on, little pussies, you can share, can't you? Anyway, what she's been doing is, I'll give her the bloomin' a lung or a bit of liver, or not liver, like spleen or kidney or whatever. She'll pick the bloody thing up and then walk out. I think one might have its foot too close to the bloomin' lung and's getting bitten or something, I don't know. But Black Kitty, anyway, getting back to the bloody point, Black Kitty will take the lung or whatever out of the bowl and walk over and plonk it half on the blasted lino, half on the wooden floor. And I was thinking, well, what the hell did I put it in a bowl for, and what the hell did I put the lino on the floor for? If it's going to blast it, we'll take it out. Hey, you two, cut it out. One's claw and the other one's face. You can both share, you stupid bastards. What is it now? I've got to work it out. 28 lung halves, so you're not going to go short. Stupid idiot. Yeah, the stupidest thing about these two kittens fighting over one lung half, there's a whole nother lung half sitting in the bowl and nobody's touching it. Black Kitty, typical bloomin' strange cat that she is. I used to get fat off chops. I would cook the chops. I wouldn't overcook them or anything like that. Then I'd peel the fat off and put it in the bowl. They would not touch it. Neither Black Kitty or Tabby Cat would touch it. Put down 2 bits of spleen last night, bang, straight into them, and then just bang, one after the other, like that. Kidney, who cares, give it a bit of a sniff. And then eat the chicken mince that's beside it, and just ignore the kidney. I get up this morning, there's no chicken mince left. Ran out of bloomin' cat biscuits in their bowl here anyway. Yesterday, I've still got plenty of bags of it left, and the kidney was gone, and it seems now one of the kittens is eating the kidney I chucked down 5 minutes ago. So it's good that someone's eating the kidney, because stupid Black Kitty ain't going to eat a kidney which you get stuck in her spleen without a problem. So it doesn't really matter so long as somebody's making use of these as opposed to eating something that I paid for, like cat biscuits or chicken mince, which I didn't pay much for. Well, you know, of course, all the sheep stuff I didn't pay anything for. I've got the, as I said before, I think my father gets the livers. I get the hearts. The cats get the lungs and the kidneys, and I've decided the spleens as well. And yeah, so make use of all these sheep. I mean, when push comes to shove, there's not much left other than intestines and bloody and fat. So, you know, we've essentially made the most of it all anyway. Anyway, it was a hell of a day yesterday. Bloody hell, it was 10 to 10 before we stopped. So I sort of got off to a late start and then had a bit of a big lunch, and that dragged out for too long, and by the time we were done it was 10 minutes to 10, so yeah, that was a flaming day, and I still had to bag up all those blooming lungs and stuff like that, and have tea and have a shower and the whole bit. And anyway, better get on with breakfast now. We're going to get on the flaming bandsaw today and chop, chop, chop. Plums for breakfast. I think these might have been stewed, and I've got a funny feeling somebody might have added a bit of sugar. They don't taste too bad, but oh yes, one of those things that when you have things that are in season, you end up handling them so much and eating so much of it that you get sick of it, and then you chuck a bunch in the freezer and then you forget about it for 6 months because you're out of sight, out of mind. And when it's in the freezer, well, you do, well, especially in my case, it's in my parents' freezer, you don't really see these things, and so then you forget about them until your mum goes one day, hey, take this back and put that in your fridge. You'll want to eat this or that, and I'll fob it off, and sometimes I'll take it, and yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, I've got to make more of an effort to eat all these stored up things in their freezer. Tabby Cat didn't seem too intrigued by the offal. He's sort of looking around like, is this all we're getting today? And Anyway, kittens are getting into it and they quite like it, especially the lungs. Seem to go through it reasonably fast. I mean, the fact of the matter is a lot of the lungs are just air pockets. It's like a bloody polystyrene, you know. There's not much actual solid in it all. Damn wind's blowing again. Yeah, as I was going to say, with bandsaws, when you cut all this stuff, you end up with this big ton of mince inside all the pulleys that the saw runs on, because it's, you know, big flat sort of round thing, clicks into, you know, the drive pulley, and you got another pulley, sometimes two pulleys up the top, usually only one pulley up the top, and yeah, inside those guards, which are all fiberglass, and you've got to wash them out after you're done. Obviously, you've got to wash everything out. A lot of it's all sort of based on stainless steel, aluminium, and fiberglass, and plastic, nylon. Anyway, you build up all this mince, and you can cook that up and eat it if you want. It'll be about 40% or more fat, which will melt down, but then there's so much bone grit in it, it's ridiculous. But having said that, like, it's still a good heap of flaming meat in it, and I have eaten it myself. However, be aware you're going to get a hell of a lot of bone grit. But in this case, this time round, more cat food. And I mean, you'll get a decent heap of this. We've got, oh shit, more than like a gallon and a half worth of the shit sometimes. See how we go today, but we're not doing as big a run today as we have some days. There's 14 sheep, but they're only about 2/3, 3/4 full size. You know, they weren't full grown ones, so, because a lot of those got sold at the auction, so we're getting what we can, sort of thing. This is my big banger. Had to bring it over here. We ran out of freezer space. So she's going to fill up a dynamite. 72 litre, 68 or some blooming thing. Class at 72, actuality at 68. So this is one of the three-way. It's actually a dedicated freezer, not a fridge. The cooling lines are up at the top, as you can see the screws. As the hot air rises, it's cooled by the cooling pads. And then we go back down here. Just keep circulating like that. A lot of this is the blooming lungs. That was yesterday. That would be brisket. Be shanks. $11 a week of propane. Literally 4.5 kilos, 10 pounds of propane a week. And that's on a good run. So we've got to run the mains here, so had to give it a bit of a dust off. Have a good wipe down before. Well, yeah, unfortunately, as you probably noticed, you didn't get to see any of the slaughtering or any of the butchering. I don't know. I tell you guys, I'll show you this stuff. Wait a whole year before we do another big run. And he cracks the sads because, oh, if you put yourself out there, then you're going to be blooming, you know, like, what's going to happen? Are we going to have a transsexual, Bible-burning animal liberationist throwing eggs at your house? Like, you know, you're going to slap the cuffs on and take you to jail because you've done something that is completely legal? Yeah. God blimey. So anyway, long story short, you guys didn't get what I hoped to show you for a frickin' year or more. One of these days, I shall buy a sheep off a neighbour, possibly an injured one, because they have a lot of lambs born in the spring. Having said that, you get some prolapse uteruses, which some people can fix. Sometimes they get dirt on them and they're too late to fix and the sheep's going to die anyway. And sometimes the lambs, as they're larger, especially if they're in with calves or cows. Sometimes they fall down one of the damn holes that the cow digs to sit in, because they like digging holes in the surface of the soil to make a comfortable spot, because of course bare sand is a lot more luxurious than sitting on clumps of grass. And the lambs will either fall down one of them or something, or more likely what they think happens is actually that a calf gets pissed off with a lamb and gives it a slam, and sure as eggs, you know, place I worked at one point there, we had 3 lambs with broken legs for that season, so during that spring. And he had calves and cows in with him, and it was suspected that it was just calves getting angry. And, you know, you can get ones like that on the cheap, because they're half stuffed anyway, basically. So, with a bit of luck, I might end up with one of those. And I'll slice it up my bloody self and show you how it's done. Yeah, you guys will get to see a bit of stuff. If I'm selling people cat meat, I don't exactly want to give away all the secrets of how to do it, so you might only see it for a time, and then I'll set it as unlisted or wipe it or something like that. We will see. But yeah, I've shown you how to do rabbits ages back. Only my early subs, very early subs, that remember my method on butcher and roadkill rabbits. It's super bloody quick. It's about a 2-minute blooming butcher job, and you get out exactly the parts that have got a lot of meat on them without doing it perfectly properly, but just getting into the areas that have actually got some meat. Because let me tell you, the front legs of a rabbit, and especially the ribs, there's no bloody meat on there even worth worrying about. Yeah, but still haven't got to show you how to do a bloody sheep. Anyway, that's that. It sort of pisses me off a bit, because I've been waiting so long, and I've started to film a bit, and oh no, I can't have this shown, blah blah blah, shit. Anyways, got some mince out of the saw, like I was saying. It's, oh hell, it doesn't look much like other mince that's sort of not quite perfectly come out of a machine. It's just like a big blob. And yeah, cats are going to be eating that. I might as well show you. I've got another heap. This is one of the, this is going to look ridiculous, but it's one of the few spots where I can actually hide the blasted stuff for that food without cats getting to it, is in the wood heater. So I threw down a plank, and this is some that I was cooking before to try and get the fat out of it, and you can probably see there's fat down there. It isn't quite cooked. There's some of it that's a little bit red there. So as you can see, it looks very rough. That's because of the amount of bone in it, and I've got a few actual little chunks of just little short end pieces and stuff that didn't quite go through the bandsaw correctly, and I may actually pluck those out and eat them myself. But yeah, I should fire this up again. I like to heat this up just to try. I probably put too much in the frying pan, but that's, yeah, the actual stuff that come out the bandsaw. And I've got another bit in there from earlier on before lunch, and then a big shitload that I got a few minutes ago. And I try and do this just to get some of the fat out of it, because it's so astronomically fatty. And I know Black Kitty doesn't really like the blooming sheep fat, so if I can cook it a bit and get some of the fat out, then I'll be alright. Anyway, there we go.